Hello everyone, I am Walt, and today's walk and talk kind of topic here is all about how to get other people to listen to you. So, this is kind of one that a lot of people have issues with. They feel like, I got such great ideas, but, my boss doesn't listen to them, or my parents never appreciate me, or, all these kind of situations where people just want another person to listen to them, or their friend to listen to them, and yeah. So, the thing about being a human being is we really like being listened to, but we don't like to listen ourselves, okay? You'll probably notice this among most people. It is really hard to find a good listener, just naturally. Somebody who wants to listen to everything you have to say. So, what's up with that? How do we fix that? How do we do better? Okay, how do we, actually get people to listen to us? First off, you need to figure out why you want somebody to listen to you. Is it simply for the feeling of importance? Is it because, you want to express a specific idea about how that person is, how you want a change in the family life, or a change in your work, routine, or a change here or a change there? Are you trying to influence the person to do something for you, or are you just trying to, get a feeling of importance? Because the thing is about the feeling of importance, this is very important to being a human being, because we all really want others to give us the feeling of importance. The only one that can really give you the greatest feeling of importance, of course, is yourself. So you need to feel important by yourself without anybody else's approval. Otherwise, you're going to have issues and success in other areas. But if you want to influence somebody, then choosing your wording is important. So, if you want others to listen to you, there are a few different obvious approaches here. There's the reciprocity approach. That one can be pretty useful here. So if you listen to other people and show them that you're listening to them, then they are likely to reciprocate and listen to you. Now, this doesn't always work, particularly with more arrogant people and people who, are just horrible listeners. They may not reciprocate. But for a lot of people have this kind of built-in idea of reciprocity, so they may very well be willing to reciprocate if you show that you are a good listener for them. Okay, but there's still some other ways to get other people to listen to you, even without the reciprocity approach. So I would go to, of course, the good old-fashioned ethos, pathos, logos statement, the ways you can influence people. So ethos is all about your clothing and look style. So, if you are a person who has, either you're just naturally attractive, or you do things to make yourself more attractive, or you wear the right kind of clothes for the situation, you can get influence in that direction. Now, a lot of our attractiveness is not going to be something we can, completely change, but, in many cases, there are societal norms about what is more attractive in people, and while you cannot change a lot of things easily, there are some things you can change on that front. So attractiveness, just being in better shape, for example, can be pretty great. Having the right looks, in these cases, can be influential. And this is not just for oppositional, sex kind of people you were trying to influence, but it is the case with almost everybody. Attractive people do better. So if you get in better shape, you get into, a more attractive state there. Only if you want to do that, of course. Only if you like that component. Then that can be very valuable for your influence on other people. But another part of ethos, of course, is your clothing. So what do you wear? If you have flashier looking clothes, better looking clothes, this will get more people to look at you as being more successful. Now, this is not always the case. If you already have a lot of power and influence, then you don't have to wear the flashy clothes. The whole, Steve Jobs wearing his, normal jeans kind of story. Everybody else has to wear the suits. And, you have a lot of these cases where if you're the big shot, you don't have to dress in all the flashy clothes. You can just wear your t-shirt and, do whatever you want, and that's a statement of its own. But if you're really trying to influence people who are not listening to you, then you're going to need, something a little extra. So if you have nicer clothing for the situation, something that will nail an impression with that person, then that can occasionally work. Now, this will not always work, so there's obviously some more components. Pathos is another big one, and probably the biggest influence thing. And this one is to emotionally connect with people. So, who wants to listen to somebody's conversation that they don't really care about? Basically nobody. If somebody's just going on like, my friend said this, blah, 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 and then they're like, and I said this because she needs to learn, blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is somebody's conversation, the other person's going to be like, that's crazy. They're not going to be super, like, wanting to listen to it. So what you need to do is throw in some things that they care about. Things that will spark their emotions. Think about it from their perspective for a little bit and see what do they want to hear, okay? You want to give people at least some of what they want to hear because this will get them to listen. So people really like themselves, okay, at a central level. Now, this is true even of people who hate themselves, at a subconscious level, even people with a negative mental attitude. Those people still like to hear things that they agree with, that they like. So you want to present people with some of that, emotionally connect to them, okay, on some level, and they'll pay attention to the rest of it, because if you can nail the emotional connection, then they're basically going to be interested in your topic and not just going to, like, tune it entirely out. Then, of course, the final bit of ethos, pathos, logos is logos, so using logic to convince them. But logos is only about 10% of the equation. People really hate logic, even in logic-based fields, so just make note of that. Logic rarely wins points if you're doing casual conversation and not a formal debate or formal scientific discussion. Then logic's rarely going to get you much of anywhere. So you really need to nail the ethos and the pathos component. And if you nail the reciprocity one, that can easily net you a lot of listeners as well. The final part is if you can achieve some large amount of success that the person would care about, then they're more likely to pay attention to you, because people like successful, happy people as well. So that's kind of my tips for you. Try the reciprocity thing. If that's not working by you listening to them, then you can easily go on to the ethos, pathos, logos, the attractiveness, your clothing component, ethos, the pathos being connecting with the person emotionally, giving them things they would be interested in, and then of course logos, doing things logically. That can always help. And then of course my final tip being about success. So people like success, people like happiness, people are generally attracted to those characteristics. So if you can shine forth some of those things, that can also really have an impact there. But yeah, thank you all for watching. And yeah, that's how you can get people to listen to you. So stay tuned for our next video, and yeah, I'll see you then.